Hey guys, it's Ty.
And I'm Joe.
And we want to invite you on a journey of increasing your financial IQ
by learning about strategies millionaires and billionaires have been using for decades.
Welcome to the Wise Wealth Podcast.
Let's get started. Well, welcome to the Wise Wealth Podcast. Joe and Ty, we're back. We took a week off and hope you guys are having a great time. Some of you are on spring break.
But it's spring break.
We are back in full effect, and we've got a powerful podcast for you today. Powerful episode. And but first, man, how was your? Tell me, how was your week? Let's catch up, man. How are things going, brother?
Yeah, ups and downs. We closed on our old house, which is a new house, but we just bought it not too long ago. So we closed on that, and we're moving out of here in just I think we're like
moving on up
12 days. We move out. We're doing a little lease back from the new owners, wonderful people, and we are heading back to East Orlando, which is where we moved from.
We're going to the east side. To the east side.
So that was awesome. So yesterday was closing day, so that was a big day for us sellers,
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was a big financial blessing occurred yesterday.
Great.
And then we're spring break. Kids are off. They're upstairs watching TV right now.
Hey, kids.
They can't hear you. Excuse me.
Well, I was in Tejas, Texas. Ask me about what I was doing. Go ahead and ask me. You can ask me.
Tejas.
Go ahead.
What happened in Texas?
Man, it was awesome, brother. We were at a business conference. Got to hear from Andy Andrews. Now, I got you on Andy Andrews. I said, start reading his books. And when you hear this man, oh my goodness, perspective, help you get in the right, help you, he said something about perspective. Many people would say perspective is how you see things. Andy said this, it's not just how you see things, it's how you choose to see things. So we have a choice.
That's true.
So another thing he said was the greatest advice he ever received was this: don't believe everything you think. Think about that.
That's
just
good.
Because you think it doesn't mean that it's the truth, right? You've thought things before that have later turned out to be not true. So anyways, it was really powerful. Anytime you can get in an environment of personal growth and development, leadership growth, we need that. I mean, we need that as husbands. A lot of times people don't want to sacrifice and go because you have kids. Listen, I need that for my marriage. I need to get away with my wife. As many kiddos as we have, I need to get away with my wife. I need to be dreaming with my wife. Right? The best example you can model for your children is do it yourself. Let them see mom and dad growing and expanding their vision and, fighting for their dreams, starting their own business, taking risks. That's another thing is a lot of times people, is it risk or fear that you're not starting that business, that you're not going after your dreams? A lot of times we say, I don't want to take too big of a risk when it's our own fears that are holding us back. So I was at a conference, man, it was absolutely powerful. It was great. And which leads us into what we're going to be talking about today, Ty. So the message
what is that, Joe? What do we got?
Yeah, so today I've got so much in me after, we had Jesse Reynolds on, I believe, in week 4, and Jesse shared a powerful story. Jesse had a huge team in network marketing, direct sales, whether you're doing online business. And, Jesse had shared a story about how he built up to the top level and then lost it in 2019. And he's, done very well since. But my wife and I was a, former football coach, head football coach. I was a 6-man football coach. Has anyone even heard of 6-man? Ty, did you even know 6-man existed? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
we might have to do a podcast on that.
In tech, you got 3 people on the line, right? There's 3 people that have to be on the line. there has to be an exchange. So the quarterback, when he gets the ball, he usually pitches it. It's like usually like a pistol, because there has to be an exchange before you run. So when you snap the ball to the quarterback, he can throw it right away, but you can't run it. You got to pitch it. So, but 15-yard first downs, 80 yards. So that was, and they're all over Texas, because think of how big Texas is, and there's so many small schools, one stoplight town. But
Yeah.
I was a head football coach, and that was my first head coaching job. And my wife was a speech pathologist, and we as soon as we start, I got to grab this picture real quick. So this is for those of you watching on YouTube. This is my beautiful daughter, and a baby
Beautiful.
changes everything. When life happens, and she had a degree in speech pathology. She was going to go, you know, I thought she was going to make six figures. To me, was like, man, that is so much money. I'm a broke coach. She's a speech pathologist, but a baby changes everything, right? And when Mama got
Sure
pregnant
does.
with this little baby girl, she was like, I didn't have this baby just to send this baby to daycare. Like, I want to
Yeah.
raise I want to, for everything changed. I want to be a mom. That's all she wanted to be. I just want to be a mom. And someone shared a business with her. Her sister was doing a business, and a nutrition business, and she got started. And I was her biggest skeptic, Ty, because I come from Green Beret, Special Forces, Airborne Ranger. No one went to school. No one did a business. And to me, I was like, no, you did what you're supposed to do. Why are you doing this? You're not going to make any money. Nobody makes money in this. Well, guess what happened, Ty? Mama made money.
Mama made some money.
Mama made money. She tripled my teaching salary in like 6 months. When I went to school for 5 years, I took the 5-year plan. You know, 5 years. $40,000 in student loan debt, and oh, a year I had to teach for free for a whole year. So I student taught for free. Did you know we have to do that as teachers?
No,
I,
I didn't know that.
you teach for free. I got a job at Chili's. I was waiting at tables just to pay bills as I was teaching for free. Some people have to do it for 6 months. It may have changed. My program, I had to teach, and not only teach, I had to go online and enter my lesson plans and do online.
Wow.
So I had to work for free for a whole year. Then I had to get a job. Okay. And then that's when I met Shayna. She started the business, just took off like a rocket. So what took me 5 years and then a whole year of student teaching for free, 6 years just to be making $2,300 a month, she tripled in 6 months with like $100 investment. So that's what's possible in network marketing. We have some listeners. You may be in network marketing. You may be like, I don't believe in it. The facts are the facts. People can make money. People get started, and some make a little bit of money. Some make millions. Some people get started and they make zero.
Yeah.
So so we made over $1 million in that business. And here's the point of this podcast. This podcast is all about for people in network marketing, or any business, but in particular network marketing. Because here's the thing I know about network marketing, being involved in network marketing for over 12 years. Ty, the first year in network marketing, we made over $89,000. And not once did we hear from our company about building wealth.
Yeah.
And you know whose responsibility it is? It's not the company's. It's you are an entrepreneur in the real world, and it's your job as a network marketing professional. It's your job because first and foremost, you're an entrepreneur, and you have got to be educated. You've got to know. That's why I love what Robert Kiyosaki says. The middle class of the day today has the ability to be the rich of tomorrow if you get educated. So network marketing companies are, a lot of them are really great at talking about paying down debt. Like, I was a part of a company, and they promoted a debt payoff plan. Every conference they talked about it. They pulled up stories. And Ty, man, what do you know about getting out of debt? Is getting out of debt
I
powerful?
yeah. I mean, getting out of so I did the whole. This was 7 years ago. I did the whole Dave Ramsey baby step thing, and getting out of debt is very much a mindset thing. So
Right.
the whole like Dave Ramsey get out of debt. program, all it is there's nothing mysterious or magical about it. All it is your mindset. It's shifting your mindset and your perspective, like you said earlier, your perspective in your head on how you treat money. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. That's all getting out of debt is. It does have anything to do with building wealth. Nothing.
Yeah. Correct. And that's where, we learn the programs getting out of debt. But what happens when you get out of debt? You're still at zero. You're still at
Correct.
zero. So my story is, guys, we made a lot of money. We made a significant six-figure income for around 6 or 7 years, but we never paid ourselves first.
Mm,
We never started. I heard about, and here is the thing about that where you're at right now. You may have heard. You may be listening to this podcast. You may be reading some books. But there's a big difference between good intentions and being intentional. Ty and I,
mm,
we have beautiful wives. We love our wives, and if we have good intentions of picking up a dozen roses on the way home, and we go home and say, "Well, honey, I actually thought about getting roses for you." Well, my wife would rather have a foot rub than roses. Ty, I don't know about you, any day. She'd rather have a foot rub and me do excuse me, me to do the dishes.
there you go.
She
That's why you
wants.
need to know her love language.
You got to know the love languages, acts of service. And if I wake up in the morning and there's a dirty kitchen and I say, "Oh, babe, I love you so much." You know what?
Yeah.
I was thinking about you last night, and I was just thinking, man, it'd be nice to do the dishes for you, babe. I didn't do them, but I was thinking about you, honey.
Yeah.
But I left you with this dirty kitchen. What? No. So you can be thinking, you can be you can be listening to podcast. But guys, I wasn't intentional. I heard about this in 2016. In 2019, we lost everything, and I spent all I earned. Listen
Mm,
to me. I was spending all I was earning, and people. I heard a stat the other day. That, there's I believe it's over 70% of people making over $200,000 today are still living paycheck to paycheck. Wow,
that
that's a
statistic is scary.
that's a lot of money to just be, paying a Honda, paying Lexus, paying, GE, whatever it is, brand new washer and dryer, paying all these companies instead of paying Team Navarro, instead of paying Team Hart. You got to learn to pay yourself first. So, I wasn't intentional. I was not intentional. And after 2019, see, something has to happen in your life to wake you up to say, I'm going to start paying myself first. Even if it's just a little, the Bible says, don't despise small beginnings. We've got to learn not to
Mm,
despise small beginnings. Even if it's a $100, $300, do what you can do. Start paying yourself first. A lot of times people don't want to come to us because they're thinking, man, I got to be a millionaire to start my own private family bank. Ty, is that true?
no. I've it was the end of last year. I did one that was $100.
Hmm.
It may have
Yeah.
been a slightly under $100. It was actually for a two children.
Yep.
It was, I mean, it can literally be whatever. It's a sliding scale. So it's
Yeah.
none of these are oh, and you got a bank, and we're not just they don't just get stamped out of like a factory, and they all look like they all look like the same car. It doesn't happen. There's very few, if any, that are designed exactly like to the T the same.
Yeah.
Um, they can have this similar characteristics, but it's really based on the person's budget and what they're using it for. So there's not there's not one way or one budget that this fits. You don't have to be a millionaire to have one of these. You can be, you should if you're a millionaire, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be at
Yeah.
all.
Yep. So, I mean, this isn't the only strategy. Again, this is the strategy for our family. We love it, and in my life, the things that I love and I'm passionate about, I love to share. I love to help others. And so if you are in the network marketing profession, I would ask you just a few things. Number one, do you have a plan in place for building wealth? Now think about that. A lot of times we have a plan in place to build our business. We have a plan in place for personal growth and development. But do you have a plan in place? You might have a plan for building or paying down debt. Did you know that you can build wealth and pay down debt at the same time?
Yeah.
Now think about that. You can pay into your bank instead of just paying, Lexus. The money goes into your bank account. Now the money goes to Lexus right away. Instead of just doing by one thing and redirecting your money, the money goes into your bank account, right? The money goes into your private family bank. Then the money goes into Lexus.
It's one strategic difference there. That's it. That's all you have to do.
One strategic. So that's just what's on my heart, Ty. You can ask any questions you want, and but this has just been our journey for 12 years, and we've seen people, in my last company that we lost everything in 2019. There was a small group of individuals who, they were not only making a lot of money, they all had private family banks. And when that happened after we lost our business, I mean, I've seen terrible things happen. People lose their homes, people lose marriages, people lose. But this particular group, they transitioned so well.
Just seamless.
It's
Just
seamless
seamless.
transition because they were building wealth for
You know,
years. Some of these individuals, and so
and a
whether it
lot of
was,
people
yeah, go ahead.
a lot of people might say, well, it's gonna, me putting money aside and putting money to make this solid foundation is gonna slow me down in my business.
Yeah,
If you say that 3 times out loud to yourself, you'll be embarrassed for saying that. Putting
yeah,
money aside to build a solid foundation is gonna slow me down from building my business bigger.
yeah.
I I
It's just the way
it's actually embarrassing to say that. You mean you don't wanna build a solid foundation of good financial foundation for your business and for you personally to grow on because you think it's going to slow you down.
yeah.
You just
That's
said I don't even know what verse it is. I wrote it down because I want to look it up later. Bible despises small. Don't
yeah,
the Bible says don't despise small beginnings.
that's right.
Maybe in your brain you might think, oh, it's going to slow me down. I'm redirecting some funds into here. No, you're creating a solid foundation for you and your business to go forward with because we know it is a fact. We know it's happened or it's going to happen to you. We're
Yeah,
going to have trouble in this life. It's going
that's
to be
right.
financial trouble. It's going to be sickness. It's going to be you name it. We're going to have it.
Mhm.
How thankful will you be that you took the time to build a solid foundation so when the trouble comes,
And it will.
you can have those funds to fall back on?
Yeah. I mean, Andy Andrews says you're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or going into one. And yeah, that's Zechariah 4:10. Don't despise small beginnings. You got to start. And declare something right now. I'm going to start something. I'm going to start something today. This week, make it happen. And I love, one of our mentors, he said this, don't want for things so bad that you make poor financial decisions trying to get them.
Mm,
And here's what I mean by that. When you go from not making any money to making $89,000 your first year, and then over 180, and then over 200, and then it just keeps growing, and you have a low financial IQ, when you're able to do things like go to Disney World, just because I can doesn't mean I should.
yeah.
Just because I can. And I love my girls so much, and they love Disney, and they wanted to go to Disney, and I wanted it so bad for them, and I wanted to prove to my team, yes, you can have a purpose and have a vision board and have a dream board, and you can go for those things. And look, we're at Disney getting all the likes and comments. And man, Joe, listen, I can't change the past, but I can just share with you. Yes, it's okay to travel with your family, but another priority for us on that vision board should have been, what is my daughter's banks going to look like by the time they're 12?
Hmm.
Where is my daughter's banks going to be at by the time they're 10? Where is my daughter's private family bank going to be at by the time, if she wants to go to college, she can go and that's paid for? Or if she doesn't go to college and wants to be a missionary or start a business or get married at a young age, you know, that she has this bank waiting for her. And I just didn't spend it on Disney World.
That's powerful because, you know, they call it the lifestyle creep, Joe.
Hmm.
So you start, whatever you're making, and you get a raise or you get that promotion, you get a new job altogether. You leave one career and you're into another, and you start making some cash, and you think everything is better. It's all fixed. Everything's better now. I have more money. More money doesn't fix anything. If you have bad habits or you don't know wealth strategies, when you're making $10,000 a year, when you're making $400,000 a year, you know what happens? Those same bad habits that you were making with 10,000 happen with the bigger amount.
That's right.
So they're bigger mistakes, they're bigger problems, there's more time lost because you're not building wealth.
It's true.
It'll be money in and money out, just
Yeah,
like you were
yeah.
doing.
Yep.
Money in and money out. Nothing changes. Money doesn't change anything
Yeah.
if you're making, bad decisions with it.
Yep.
It has the ability, and it's just a tool. It has the ability to change things, but you have to be the one to have the knowledge. You have to be the one to listen to opportunities to actually use money as a tool.
That's right. And then, another rule we have now is just a general rule for us is never finance fun. Never
Never
finance fun.
finance fun.
You know, and that's a boat, camper, vacation, etc. If you don't have the cash, it's a very poor decision to pay someone else to pay for your fun at 18 to 25% interest, right?
Or more. Interest
Or a
rates are
lot
going up.
more in some cases. So, but the other thing we wanted to really break down before we close today is taxes. They're listen to me. We paid almost $30,000 in taxes our first year in network marketing, and this ain't bringing. I'm not trying to fear anybody. I'm just saying, just keep that
30,000 in
30
taxes.
30 grand. And here's why: when you have a low financial IQ, and then you start making this money, and it's on 1099, and you're like, "Hey, I'm making money. Oh, Uncle Sam's gonna want some of that." And here's the thing: hire a tax strategist.
Mhm.
There's a I mean, you can email us. We can give you. I can recommend some great tax strategists in the network marketing profession that I can recommend. Send us an email. Ty, tell them where they can email us at.
Info at wisewealthpodcast.com.
Send us. We can. Definitely hook you up. We have some great resources, some even great books on taxes. There's there's so many tax benefits. This shouldn't scare you to be involved in network marketing. You should want to run towards network
Yes.
marketing to literally save money on your taxes. I believe I don't even. It's thousands of dollars that you can be saving simply by starting um, a business from home because of all the things you can write off. So when we made this money, we went to my wife's parents, who are amazing people, but at the time just didn't put us in the right direction and just gave us to their accountant. Oh yeah, here, talk to Fred down the street. Talk to Mary. Mary does our taxes. They can help you too. They were not educated and versed in network marketing. And they didn't write off anything. And because we were ignorant, now whose fault is that? I
It's
I
it's
take
your
ownership.
it's your fault, Joe.
It's my
It's your fault.
welcome, wake up to big boy life. You're an adult now. That's why we give yourself a pat on the back for listening, but the power comes in not in listening and applying. So if you're in network marketing right now and you don't have a strategy, you don't have a tax strategist, I mean, it's worth $100, or whatever you're going to pay to have a consultation and learn. It's worth the $30 or the $20 to buy the books and understand what you could be writing off, right? And
It's
and
it's going to
and
be worth a lot more than $100.
it's going to be worth a lot more. So the other thing you got to do right now is don't just hire your everyday accountant. No, you got to hire someone who knows what they're doing. How do you know what they're doing? There should be fruit. There should be stories. There should be people they have already helped in your profession, and they should have stories of how they're helping people. Don't just blindly listen to someone and say, oh yeah, I can do that. We have people all the time that are show us their policies, and someone says, oh yeah, I can give you an infinite banking policy, and then there's no cash value. It's so That's the other thing is taxes, 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 and taxes. You need to have a plan in place to make sure that you are uh, you know you're covered, and you're not just you're not going to be like me and Shayna, where we paid $30,000 our first year, and then we even got into the second year and made even more money. And it wasn't until after that year, going into our third, where we were like, what's going on? Someone save me! Like,
Oh, a lot of money.
it's a lot
So,
of
I mean,
money,
just
guys.
talking about wealth strategies, Joe, like that is one of the ways, like the IRS gives us all these different strategies and write-offs and rules for technically our advantage. It's up to us to utilize them, to
Right,
utilize the strategies, the deductions, the different things. And if you don't want to look at it, like you said, get a wealth strategist,
right.
get an accountant, get an accountant that is specialized in business. That knows what these business deductions are that you can legally utilize. Legally, this is all legal. That they give us the book, the IRS code book, and they said, "Here, this is how you don't pay taxes." All those strategies in there.
That is so
And
good what you just
you
said.
you and Shayna, you didn't know for 2 years, so, you're 30, 40, $50,000 that you have to pay to the IRS because what? You didn't know.
That's right.
You didn't know.
Didn't know.
And it's not an excuse, that's just saying you didn't know, and that's
Yeah.
like your downfall in that situation. If you had been versed in that, if you had taken the time to say, "Hey, we're gonna be, we're bringing in more money. We need to," even mid-year, you're like, "Oh, you can do quarterly checkups." You, there's accountants out there. You can do a quarterly checkup. Hey,
Yeah.
what are things looking like? What do I need to do? And you can strategize throughout the entire year. And frankly, we all should. If you're concerned about paying too much in taxes, you're making a lot of money. If you're concerned about if you need, because one business purchase could be the difference in, bringing you down a tax bracket, and now you have an asset for your business, but you didn't have to send, a bunch of money away to Uncle Sam. It's
Yeah.
very, very important, and it's just being intentional, Joe. That
Yeah.
is just being intentional.
Yep.
Yeah, it might not be super fun, but neither is sending $30,000 away for the IRS. That's not fun
Yeah.
either. So pick which one you want to do.
Yeah, it's being intentional, and a lot of if you're listening to this, you're in network marketing and you're a leader in network marketing, and that's a part of leadership. You're like a life coach. So, my wife and I, we love this industry because we love the fact that it's a volunteer army, and people follow us because of they choose to follow us. We get to pour into their marriage, we get to pour into their parenting. Well, early on in my career, I wasn't pouring in people's, their finances, but now you get to give strategies. You get to show them what you're doing, what you've done. You get to point them to great resources. This is your responsibility. You are responsible as a leader in this industry to help people, because it's not the company. It's not their job. I literally just got back from an amazing convention. It was amazing in this industry. And guess what? It's not their job. It's not their job to teach. It's their job to teach me how to sell products. In this case, it was services. Ty, I just got to say, I loved being in the product space for 10 years. I love not selling a product right now. I love the fact that we get to help people,
Yeah.
just save money on bills they're already paying services. But I just got back from this company, and they didn't say anything about wealth building, infinite banking, investing, none of that with the money I make. That's not their job. Their job is to grow in revenue. The nutrition companies I've been a part of, their job was to teach me how to sell their products to grow in revenue. Yeah, they
Right.
did some internal leadership building and developing and everything like that. And again, they shared debt stuff, debt payoff plans. But this is my responsibility. Say that. This is my responsibility. So,
This is my responsibility.
yeah, as a leader, it's, when you grow, everything else around you grows. So, here's a couple books, guys, that really helped me. And so the first one is The Richest Man in Babylon. That's a great book, wealth building. Every leader should read this book. Um, there's a book called Evangelpreneur. Just think of like an evangelist, but then
Hmm.
entrepreneur. It starts with evangel, then preneur. So powerful. Why entrepreneurship is so important, and the kind of mindset and the freedom you need to fulfill the call in your life. And then we've already shared becoming your own banker, guys. Becoming your own banker. As you start making money, you start growing in this residual passive income. Where can you be instead of just giving that to the bank, and then and we just saw what happened with the banks. You know,
Yeah.
the president
Time
says
to
that the banks are safe, and I guess we should just take his word for it. Maybe not. Maybe we should build our own bank, Ty.
whatever you say, Joe. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever.
Makes me
We'll
just
just.
wonder. He says the
Yep.
banks are safe. That just makes me want to build my bank even faster.
Yeah. I think after this recording, I'm gonna go jump on and open up another one.
Yeah. So we hope you guys found value in that. After living this, I'm sure you can tell my passion, guys, because I've lived this. 2011, I started a business. We were some of the top producing leaders, and we've been, in a couple companies, and we've seen the ups and the downs, and we've seen money come in, and we've seen money go out. And at the end of the day, it's not what you earn that matters; it's what you keep that
Yes.
counts.
For example, I mean, if you just use simple math, Joe, like you had to pay $30,000 in taxes
Yeah.
that first year. You made 89. So what does that mean?
That means that I was,
You
I
made
went
50. You made 50. You
yeah,
made 59,000
yeah,
actually
I went
because you
from
had to
broke.
give away 30,
Yeah, I went from broke, busted, and disgusted, living paycheck to paycheck, to making $89,000, still living paycheck to paycheck.
but you only kept 59.
Yeah, 59. I made
You had to
59,
give away like 30 grand.
moved in a bigger house, but there was months that we had to call Shayna's parents and say, "Hey, can you help us out? We know what it's like to wake up and as I'm getting ready to go to the gym, dude, where's my car?"
Yeah.
I'm serious.
If
I
you missed
told you
that,
that
I don't remember
story.
what podcast, but
I told you
Joe
that
told about the
story.
time his
I
car
woke
got
up and
repoed.
I'm like, "Did someone steal our car?" Sir, you didn't pay your bill. We
Tough
know what it's
times.
like, guys. We know what it's like. And so, our heart is, and here, I guess I'll close with this. We earned a lot of incentive trips back in the day, and we still go on trips with company we're with. And I remember going on incentive trips. We'd go all over the world. We've been to Africa. We've been to all throughout Europe, and amazing places. And when you're sitting in those circles, people were talking about debt, pay how much debt they paid off, or where they're going for vacation, and how their kids are in private school, and and after we lost our business, I started to, think back and think, the next time I do this, I'm going to do it different. when I'm sitting at a table with leaders, I'm going to look at them in the eye and say, Ty, what are you doing to build wealth, Ty?
Mm,
What strategies are you implementing?
that's a great question.
You see, it's the quality of the questions that determines the quality of our answers.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's gonna be a
man,
great.
that's deep. That's deep. That's
That's
a
gonna
good
be a
one.
great question
Yeah. So
at your different circles. Like that's, and I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna bring that up.
yeah. So network marketing leaders, as you are on these trips, or as you are with your team, you know, and you can't give what you don't have. So as you start growing in your knowledge and implementing this for yourself, now you have power to say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm doing. This is, these are secrets the wealthy have used for decades after decades. And you don't have to be wealthy, but you can think like one to start acting like one first. You got to think like, so that it's all in your thinking. So ask
Yeah,
those questions, leaders. What are you doing to build wealth? What are you doing to grow your money? How are you doing to funnel your money into tax-free buckets of wealth? Because the tax rate, we know
mm,
that the tax rate's going up, Ty.
oh yeah,
It's going up. It's relatively low right now. So that's why you should be helped. That's why we love infinite banking, growing your money tax free. So these are great questions to ask. Hey, what are you doing to protect your money from taxes, inflation? What are you doing to build wealth? What are you doing for your children right now? What are you doing to build up a nest egg? Hey, and I know hey, I know that every company we're in, we want to say it's the greatest company ever. It's going to be in business until Jesus comes back. Our business was, even one of the companies we lost was, they honored God every single time until they took God away. See, they honored God, but then they took church service away. They took us talking about him away, and when they did, I felt that the covering left. But here's the thing about that: it was the greatest company in my company. It was the greatest company. We'll never lose this business. We'll never. But then look what happened, Ty.
go
So
on.
never say never. You've got to be preparing. Well, you just got to ask yourself, what if this income that I'm making right now, what if it's gone in 2 years? What if it's gone in 2 months? What if it's gone in 5 years? What if it's gone in 10 years? Those are questions you really need to ask yourself. And are you prepared? Do you have an exit strategy? And can you pivot and transition?
Yeah, that's
Leave them with that, Ty. Any last
y-
thoughts?
and that's a great question for our listeners or viewers to ask themselves. What would it look like if that was gone?
Mhm.
And if it's not very pretty, that means that we need to start laying a better foundation. Yep, we're gonna have to work backwards a little bit because you are at where you're at right now. So you need to start building a foundation. So if that means slowing down, not taking the Disney trips, not going on cruises every weekend, if that means slowing down your lifestyle, that's exactly what needs to happen. That's exactly what needs to happen.
That's
So
awesome.
don't look at it as a like steps backwards.
That's right.
That's technically steps forward.
Yeah. It's getting the foundation. It's shoring up the foundation.
Yeah.
So, hey, thank you guys for checking out this podcast. Be sure to download, like, and subscribe. My cute little, daughter, a couple months ago, she was watching the podcast and they said, "Give us a thumbs up," and she went like this.
No, you have to pick up the phone and actually hit the thumbs up. Yeah.
So, a thumbs up.
So,
Hey, blessings to you guys. We hope this added so much value to you. If it did, share this with your team, share this with your leaders. This is our gift to you to produce this content. Your gift is, giving us 5-star, giving us a review, and sharing it. Hey, blessings, guys. See you next week.
God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.
If you would like more individual information on infinite banking or retirement account solutions, Joe and Ty would be glad to connect with you individually. Please email us at info@wisewealthpodcast.com, or you may visit us at our website at wisewealthpodcast.com and contact us there.